A month after taking over as the Attorney General, Professor Githu Muigai's immediate challenge has been to determine when Kenyans are expected to go to the polls next, based on the interpretation of the Constitution. A cabinet decision to push through an amendment to the Constitution to move the election date from the second Tuesday of August in every fifth year has triggered various reactions, with the executive being accused of seeking to prolong its life through the back door.
There is the question of the date of the first election. That question is not open and shut, as has been suggested by many commentators.
The Constitution Implementation Commission has broken ranks with the executive, insisting that the proposed amendment was not only ill-advised but unnecessary.
The election will be held on the second Tuesday of August in the fifth year, which by our calculation works out as 14th of August, the year 2012.
It is being suggested that August is a date for the first election cast in stone. That's not true. There are three different interpretations. There are those who say it ought to be August. There are those who say it ought to be December. There are those who say it ought to be March.
The panel of eminent African persons led by Kofi Annan had, in a report prepared by the South Consulting Group, warned that lack of clarity on the date of the next general election could spur anxiety among Kenyans.
My understanding of the bill that has been drafted by the Minister for Constitutional Affairs is that there is a wish to clarify the date so that it is not the subject matter of any dispute.
However, the earliest the amendment can be discussed in Parliament is next year. Article 256 of the Constitution provides that a bill to amend the country's supreme law shall not be read for a second time in Parliament within 90 days of its first reading. By that time, the Supreme Court is likely to have made a constitutional interpretation on the date of the next general election. The Interim Independent Electoral Commission and the Constitution Implementation Commission have filed separate applications before the Supreme Court, seeking its interpretation of the Constitution on the exact date of the next general election.
The parties are coming to the court tomorrow in order to take a date with the registrar. As is the procedure, the court cannot give a date without consulting the parties. Once they take the dates, then it shall be announced when it will be heard and when it will be mentioned.
Chief Justice Dr. Willy Mutunga has in the meantime assured Kenyans that the Supreme Court will decide on the exact date of the next general election before the end of the year. There is consensus among stakeholders in the electoral process on the need for free and fair elections. However, that will only become possible if Kenyans are duly informed of the exact date of the first general election under the new constitution. Francis Gashuri, Citizen Live at 9, Nairobi.